Stop doing these 5 things if you are suffering from Bell's palsy. If you want to know what are these 5 things that you should stop doing immediately and what are the things instead you should do about Bell's palsy, then make sure to watch this video till the end. Let's begin. Hello friends, I am Physio Meghna Dave. I am a founder and CEO of HealthQ Rehab, and I am a neuro rehab physiotherapist who have helped around 100 plus people suffering from Bell's palsy. And from my experience, I am going to share with you the 5 most common mistakes that Bell's palsy survivors or sufferers make. And I'll also tell you instead what you should do. So let's get started. The first thing that you should avoid as much as possible is electrical stimulation. Yes, you heard me right. You must have got this advice from doctors and a lot of physiotherapists that you should take electrical stimulation. Yes, electrical stimulation is good, but overstimulation increases the risk of synkinesis. It has been very well proven in the researches and it has been found to be the leading cause for synkinesis. Hence, if you want to prevent synkinesis, which is better to prevent than curing it, then avoid electrical stimulation as much as possible. Instead, you can do face lifting massage immediately from the day you have developed Bell's palsy. That will equally act as stimulator for your nerves because your facial muscles are very superficial. The nerves on the facial region are also very superficial. When you are doing a lifting massage, you are constantly stimulating your nerve and you are sending this message to your brain that this side of the face requires the lift. So make sure to do your regular facial massages over stimulating your facial muscles. That takes me to the second point that you should not do during Bell's palsy, and that is forcing your facial muscles to contract. I have seen so many patients making this mistake of doing very strong contraction, trying to force the eyes to close, trying to force to frown, trying to force to raise the eyebrows and make a surprise expression, trying to force smile. But when you do this, you are inviting synkinesis. So make sure don't do it. Instead, do passive exercises, which means exercises that is done with the support of your hand. When you do these exercises with the support of your hand, the force that is falling on your paralyzed muscle will be minimal. At the same time, you will also guide these muscles to move in the right direction, which is the right way of doing it. That takes me to the third thing that you should avoid if you are suffering from Bell's palsy, and that is to avoid patching and prefer taping. Yes, you heard me right. You must have also got this advice of patching your eyes. Now, there is a problem with patching your eyes. When you patch your eyes, even though you prevent all the dust particles going inside the eyes, but your eyelids will not get the stretch that is required. Now, what happens in Bell's palsy? Your eyelid is not closing completely. When your eyelids are not closing completely for a long period of time, there is a very high risk of contracture development on top of your eyelids. When this gets tight, it makes the process of eye closure difficult. That's why many Bell's palsy sufferers or survivors observe this, that they find difficult to close the eyes. Instead, if you do eye taping, especially at your night, you are stretching your eyelid and maintaining an elongated stretched position of your eyelid throughout the night. This will prevent the eyelid contracture and will help to improve the eye movements. So make sure to do that. That takes me to the next point that you should avoid, and that is overthinking and overworrying. Now, this is also a very common habit that is natural to come when you develop Bell's palsy. You will feel worried, stressed out, and you will also have this urge to get better as soon as possible. But unfortunately, there is no shortcut for the recovery of Bell's palsy. The nerve is going to take its own time to recover as the pressure from the nerve releases and the nerve gain its own shape. So, instead of worrying, try to take some time to give yourself that opportunity to relax. So, rest more, stop worrying. Instead, focus on the brighter side. Make sure to use this time to rest, eat healthy diet, and allow your body to recover. That takes me to the next point that you should avoid during Bell's palsy, and that is watching yourself again and again in front of mirror. This is also a very common practice that a Bell's palsy survivor or sufferer will do. Whenever you will have Bell's palsy, you will have this inner urge and desire to constantly check on your face. But there's a problem with this habit. Whenever you are trying to do that, you are constantly sending signals to your brain that something is wrong on the affected side. This signal triggers the brain to release more and more neurotransmitters. But unfortunately, these neurotransmitters get blocked at the area of Bell's palsy where the nerve blockage has happened. Now imagine this is happening again and again. The neurotransmitters are bombarded and are getting blocked here. As your nerve will start recovering, healing, and will start opening up, these neurotransmitter release will become an subconscious habit, which will eventually lead to synkinesis. Hence, it's ideal not to watch your face too much. Instead, what you should do is try to spend time watching your older pictures. Try to spend time closing the eyes and recalling and remembering your facial expression. Watch and observe the facial feeling, the facial movements on the normal side, because your normal side is the template of your facial movements. This will ensure that you are not over activating your motor centers, and you are also retaining muscle memory with the help of your emotional centers. With the help of these 5 tips and avoiding these 5 mistakes which I mentioned with you at this moment, you will ensure that you will have a better recovery, and moreover, you will prevent synkinesis, which is one of the most biggest and devastating complication of Bell's palsy. As a physiotherapist, our main intention whenever a patient comes to us with Bell's palsy is to do 3 things. Number 1, to protect the eyes. Yes, your eyes are at risk of infection and contracture. The first aim that we have as a physiotherapist is to ensure that we protect your eyes as much as possible. The second goal that we have when we work with Bell's palsy patient is to maintain the flexibility and the position of facial muscles, which gets deviated due to Bell's palsy. Facial massages and stretches are the great way to maintain these muscular properties. The major goal that we have while working with Bell's palsy patient is to prevent synkinesis, the most devastating complication of Bell's palsy. Synkinesis, unfortunately, is not curable and non-reversible. It doesn't go 100% once developed. That's why prevention is always better than cure. If you are suffering from Bell's palsy, try to prevent these 3 things which I mentioned by following the 5 tips which I showed you in this video. I hope you found these tips helpful and informative. I have lots more video on Bell's palsy already created by me on this channel. So make sure to watch all of them. And if you like our work, make sure to like this video, share this video with someone who is suffering from Bell's palsy or synkinesis, and do not forget to subscribe to our channel for more such health awareness video. I'll see you in another video. Thank you.